Let's go ahead and take a look at picks and bans for Game 2 now, totally, after a pretty dominant performance of eUnited in Game 1. But Space Station, man, they're not the kind of team to come out and get smacked in the mouth and then just sit down in Game 2.
I agree.
I trust this Space Station's team to regroup in a big way, but what do you want to see different from in picks and bans? I mean, do they have to ban the Cerqet, the Chang'e, I mean, or pick different on their side?
I think they have to pick differently on their side. They need to go what works for them than trying to hard counter the opposition. The Odin pick, Aquarius and Benji pick Chang'e into Odin if given the opportunity. So what's
they don't seem to care, do they?
What's the point of playing the Odin into the Chang'e at that point anyway? You're looking to get a level 1 Phantom, sure, so you don't have to worry about other relics, but Aquarius and Benji know how to deal with it. There's the Chang'e ban from eUnited.
I like it.
Both teams respecting each other's Chang'e.
They don't want to let Aquarius pick this one first, because he almost certainly would, as Space Station Gaming are going to be the first pick here this time, totally. That does mean, though, that Athena gets to come out as the first pick. I believe that was what was in the ban slot last time, so now that's going to get to be prioritized by Space Station. But eUnited have a ton of priority picks for themselves. Medusa, which PandaCat clearly is comfortable on. I don't even know if we talked about it. My man popped off on the Medusa that game, too. He was diving for kills, the Petrify finding kills, too.
He found some highlight plays in the laning phase, those Viper shots, that 4th shot coming in handy against BaRRA. Just couldn't really make it happen against the Ukrainian hunter.
I am wise to the ways of war indeed.
Hachiman
is the selection now for Space Station Gaming after Serqet comes in. Going to allow Screammmmm to look for a repeat performance. And this is scary. I mean, Medusa, Serqet, these are the gods that eUnited did so well with last game. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't do well with them again. And the Aphrodite into the Serqet even with the potential Odin still available. Now, we know Space Station are comfortable playing around this Odin, but I mean, it's certainly there.
Cerberus is the selection. Now, eUnited, last time against the Aphrodite, they picked out Puch. It was last pick.
That's true.
It still could be the opportunity unless Space Station Gaming ban it away. Cerberus is also not too shabby against Aphrodite in the 1v1, but knowing Benji, he'll probably flex in this matchup. He wants to show Aquarius.
Yeah, PBM absolutely can play Cerberus support still at this point. It's very much still a flex pick. PBM plays the Cerberus very well, and you can still last pick the Puch. It's one of the few benefits of being second pick, or not few benefits, but I mean, one of the benefits of it is that you can get that counter matchup at the very end that your opponent doesn't have a chance to answer, and Puch could be that as Morgan actually gets banned out by Space Station.
Still need a mid-mage for eUnited, so it makes sense. Venenu on the mid
he
position.
Does play Venenu.
He loves Morgan. Wow. I had a feeling, I had a sneaking suspicion that was going to happen. We get to see it for a second time in the summer split.
I totally, as much as I trust Space Station to bounce back, that worries me. Do you know what I mean? This Puch pick is so strong in Aphrodite.
The way it was Benji, I'm pretty sure it was against Divios on the Aphrodite. He was able to really make it look like a joke, that matchup. Every single time he was looking to clear the wave, he's going to get stunned out. The cooldowns from the Undead Surge, once you get Breastplate of Valor and like Shoes of Focus, for example, you're spamming that so frequently.
Oh, wow. And they pick the Artemis. So maybe not the Medusa going over to PandaCat. Perhaps the Medusa going to Venenu and then allowing the Artemis to be for PandaCat. We know how much he loves to play the Artemis.
That's very true. It's very possible that we're going to see that, unless there's some weird eUnited mix-up that we can see.
Certainly possible, yeah. Isn't it crazy that there's a mage on here and we're not considering that goes to Venenu like at all?
No, it's not.
Puch is solo for the Aphrodite like for sure at this point.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed going to be Puch for Benji.
Getting down in the caster booth. I like it. Okay, guys, we'll get it over to you. Totally. What's your you see these two drafts? What's your pick here?
So in week 1, Space Station Gaming were able to bounce back in games 2 and 3 after losing game 1, but I don't expect them to bounce back in this set. I think that this is eUnited's game to win. They have the strategy against this Aphrodite.
So I would have picked Space Station blindly, but luckily I didn't have to. I get to see the Puch, and now I'm leaning pretty heavily towards eUnited. But, I mean, certainly this has to be expected, right? Space Station can't stop this pick. We'll see how it ends up working in action and get it over to the dancing casters.
There's only one dancing caster, for the record.
What?
And it's me.
Hey.
Okay, well, now you ruined the bit because now we're both dancing casters. Like
you're just so infectious.
I know. Do your thing. I'm sorry. No, that's not what I meant.
Oh, the other thing?
Yes, the casting part.
Getting into game number 2 here for eUnited versus Space Station Gaming. Very, very interesting. Ryan and I were discussing about the possibility of the Medusa middle lane. Very excited to see that. I've been talking about the possibility of Puch forever. We get to see him again. Because no ban.
I'm shocked that Spacestation don't ban Opwash. Like,
Yeah.
that is, the Thor is, I guess, what they're thinking is going to be the counter selection there for the Opwash. Andinster has got to be in that solo lane 3 times in the first 12 minutes and get kills off of all of those 3. It's not enough just to be there. You got to make something happen off of it. And with the way that game 1 went, I don't know how comfortable I'd feel with that if I'm on Spacestation.
Little bit rough, if you ask this guy. Right now, we ask you guys in Mixer Chat, who's going to win? Frankly, I think eUnited have all of the tools to succeed. I think I love their draft. Really into it.
I think it can be really good. They are a little bit physical heavy, but that's where the Opwash comes in, right? Like the Opwash and the Cerberus can both bring that damage in their respective roles just out of the magical department. So I think that eUnited's draft worked very well, but there's no way Spacestation don't ban Opwash and then are surprised that eUnited picks Opwash. So that tells me that Spacestation knew this was coming and thought that Thor was a good enough. I guess it's got to be Thor, right? That either Aquarius is going to level back off and only clear the wave that way, or Andinster is going to be enough to make sure that this lane doesn't go horribly wrong for SSG. And either way, I think that's a risk.
Well, one thing that I do want to point out is that the way Benji's ultimate works, hilariously enough, is that you can actually body block the individual ghosts. So this ultimate is pretty ridiculous. But so each wraith that comes out, right, is a separate entity. It is a marvel of computation. And so you can actually body block each wraith. Who cares? Thor wall in the middle of an Opwash ult will cut it in half.
Yes.
So certainly something that I think the squad was thinking about. PolarBearMike gonna think about that one. BaRRaCCuDDa with the first blood. Nice look for SSG.
Much better start to this duo lane, because not only do they get the first blood, but they get the buff itself. That's oftentimes just as big, if not bigger, than actually getting the kill. But why not both now for Spacestation? And I love what they're doing here. No reason to clear this wave. There's nothing to take on either side of the map, really. Where Spacestation can't do oracles as the dual lane, it'll lose them too much lane pressure. Just sit in lane and make sure PBMs falls as far behind as possible.
PolarBearMike, level 1 here. Walking right up. Not a care in the world. Finally hitting level 2. Off of that particular wave. Venenu from the back line. Gonna get waved up. Able to dash away, no problemo. And he expends almost all of his mana there.
But it also
not a big deal for Venenu.
Causes speeds. That's a pretty big deal. Now is going to be in a lot of trouble off of just a Thor wall into a whirlpool right away. That'll cause him some nightmares.
You see what eUnited just did there? JeffHindla dashed, and PandaCat, in response to the dash, lays down the trap. That's going to be very scary. If PandaCat can nail that virtually every time, Jeff's going to have a hard time with this initiation.
Really will, and that's what Artemis has really stepped up to be in this duo lane. Is kind of the counter aggressor.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, she ends up taking fights that she doesn't really start, but she finishes very well.
Screammmmm here, looking for the invade on Aphrodite's blue. And he shows up a little bit too early. Blue buff goes down, and it's Benji's. Benji trying to walk over there, picks it up, also picks up a couple of corpses, and picks up a fight. Aquarius and Andy want to go for it. Aqua now linked up with his jungler. 4 and 5, a nice slow, but a stun is better. Benji in some trouble. Hits him with the 3, and he's going to get all stunned up there.
He will, every time. That's why Opwash versus Afro is nearly impossible to deal with as the Aphrodite player, because every time you clear the wave with Lovebirds, you're going to get stunned and take extra damage from that 3 right there.
Right here.
Benji's just going to be able to clean that up nicely.
Yeah, classic Opwash. It's the pen and paper analysts like myself. We're sitting here for a long time. I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's a ton of armchair coaches on Reddit that were sitting there going, when is the Opwash coming out? Because he is the black and white, the rock to the healer scissor. Right? Rock beat scissor? Yeah, okay. Right. He is the rock to the healer scissor. And took them a while, and I think honestly, it's a reputation thing. Opwash is just regarded as one of the worst characters in Conquest, and that's true at level 1. But beyond that, especially against a healer, I think this character is more than fine.
No, I don't think it's against every healer that I want the Opwash. Like, I don't want to play Opwash into Guan Yu, because Guan isn't going to be... He can choose when to use his heal and clear the wave without it. He can jump on top of you and make your life miserable. But Aphro, if she's clearing the wave, she's healing. And so that you don't really have an option otherwise other than to put yourself in a lot of danger in order to do so. So that's why I think the Opwash pick works so well. It's not just see healer, pick Opwash. It's see Aphrodite, think about picking Opwash.
I like the Opwash also against Hells, our character that you can really mess up in team fights. And believe it or not, I think Opwash does well against Terra as well. Once she pops that ultimate, you find a player and you put that third ability on them and you choose if you pop it or not. Benji now could be in trouble, so could Venenu. Andy choosing not to do anything. But a ton of information gained, and I think that's a really big deal. Now he knows where everybody on the right side of the map is, the old satellite ultimate, if you will. And that allows Space Station to secure their blue buff without much trouble. Last time around, they certainly had a plenty of.
I think Andy's just 2 seconds ahead of where he wanted eUnited to be when he takes to the sky. He kind of wanted Aquarius to bait himself, though I don't know about linking up before that, because then that's a dead giveaway that Andinster's in the sky, that someone's waiting for you.
No, what do you mean? I'm just holding on to this giant balloon.
Yeah, it's just a kite that I got at the store. It's just a little bit of a telegraph move there, I think. But the ideas sound from Andinster just a little bit too early for it to happen. If Scream's a little bit closer and he engages onto Aquarius, a double dunk in that spot puts Space Station in a great position to fight.
What do you call Aquarius's character with a wind toy?
Ooh, what?
Aphrodite.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real. That's highbrow right there.
Got her.
You never cease to amaze, Tom.
That's certainly true. Mid lane, Baskin in trouble. PolarBearMike just breathing on him. No consequence for that just yet. Space Station Gaming still in the lead. Less than 1,000, though. Looking to push that. Just farming on up. Screammmmm finds himself in the enemy jungle, though.
Baskin this time around started with the Soul Trap in the mid lane. Book of Thoth 2, Soul Reaver 2, you know, that's the tree that it builds into. Is Screammmmm has to use the beads after the wall, but Andy used beads after the madness, so ends up being a kind of a wash there in the jungle. I'm surprised because I really feel like Mage's Blessing in conjunction with that enchanted ring, that emerald ring, if you will, I think that's the first tier of that, is so good on Poseidon because it boosts his movement speed, it gives him power, it helps him with his mana problems, which he certainly has in the early game. You need some MP5 on this character. I don't think just getting the flat mana is good enough.
Well, Benji here. A little bit of trouble. 3 members from Space Station surrounding him, but still fine. Healing up and dealing the damage. Oh my goodness. Just so close, but not close enough. Aquarius going to get stunned here one more time, but what a response. 3 players, not good enough to take care of Screammmmm in his solo lane.
Oh, Jeff gonna get tossed back. Screammmmm just used his abilities to clear the wave, but Jeff still has nowhere to go. PBM chomps him down at the last moment there with the auto attack. How much damage do you think Benji just Aegis right there? 500-600?
Yeah.
Easily. Just between Defender of Olympus, what's that, 350 base, and then you've got that entire Berserker's Barrage after that. If that combo goes smoothly for Space Station, they're walking away with a kill on Benji and feeling like they got the job done, but Benji's well-timed Aegis, a little bit of mistiming from Space Station, makes eUnited look great.
Just ton of damage coming out from him as well. Aegis is a lot of the damage off front and foremost, and then just returns it with the corpse explosion, and then picks up some corpses in the interim to make sure that he's staying above a certain health threshold so that he can't be bursted down. Just this is a complex character, and it's a rarely played character. So I like to see Benji playing with such prowess. This isn't just, oh, they picked Aphrodite, so I'm going to play Opwash for the first time in a couple of months. This is a practiced individual on the Opwash, and I think it's proving fruitful.
PandaCat doesn't even use anything in that spot. Had beads, had ultimate, and just kind of accepted his fate. And I think that's the right call. I mean, PBM's close, but he doesn't have ult. PandaCat doesn't even have boots. Andinster's full HP. Like, there's no opportunity to survive there. Hold your kit, accept that you were too far up, and just held that L. And I think that's the right call from PandaCat.
Yeah, and just fall to the wayside. Nice play there. Well, not a nice play, but as nice of a reaction as you can have. BaRRaCCuDDa, JeffHindla, and andinster. wind up on the good side of that one. Nice job for Space Station's dual lane. Baskin with a little bit of a cheeky invade, stealing things away from Benji.
I like that idea, though, from Baskin. Use that extra bit of mobility that you have on Poseidon. You just saw Screammmmm and Venenu back, so you know you're not under that much pressure.
Yep.
That's an easy opportunity to invade, and it's little things that'll get you a little bit ahead. He's up about a level, probably closer to half a level right now over Venenu, excuse me, and those are the little important moments that get you those small leads. And by the way, instead of the Shaman's Ring, like I was talking about earlier, he decides to go for that Book of Thoth, and I think this is really coming from the fact that Poseidon has incredible mana issues. Like, he is thirsty for the mana, and Book of Thoth can remedy a lot of that just by giving you the MP5 and the big boost of mana pool in general.
BaRRa fighting PandaCat. Very interesting timing for BaRRa to fight PandaCat as well. Right after the gank, right? BaRRa's pushing all the way up, and PandaCat wins some of the trade, but is too careful to aggress fully on a BaRRaCCuDDa. BaRRa did have the Horseman for what it's worth, but if PandaCat it fully engages there, I mean, BaRRa could just die even before it gets the ultimate off, but he's afraid is such a harsh term, but he's wary because of how he just died. I think that was really intelligent of BaRRa to take that fight just then.
Well, it's that and the fact that BaRRa had Ninja Tab Eye complete, and PandaCat was still only sitting on boots too, so just the mobility wasn't going to be there for PandaCat to catch up to BaRRaCCuDDa, put him in range of that boar, and make sure that he dies before he ends up getting up on top of the horse.
Venenu here in the mid lane, level 11 to Baskin's 12. His jungler, excuse me, Venenu's jungler, a little bit ahead of Andy for what it's worth, about half a level. Andy's been very, very active, and so that's the decision making that I talk about. You're basically trading raw farm for the ability to help out your lanes. I think Andy's been in the right for what it's worth. Venenu, though, trying to turn things around. Baskin with a nice whirlpool.
Scream going to continue to go aggressive, but Baskin weaves in and out of his minions to make sure that madness does not land.
Interesting choice there from Scream to go aggressive. Got his Cobra's Kiss interrupted by the minions. A little bit of an ouch there. Benji placing some vision in the enemy jungle, but will ultimately walk away. Doesn't want to invade at this point.
Going for the Warlock staff, so really committing
Love it
to the longer stage. And I love it as well, especially in response to Aquarius's Void Stone. I don't think we normally see Void Stone on Aphrodite solo. Needs a little bit more bang for the buck in the early game. Usually the Breastplate of Valors, but that's against warriors. In this situation, Aquarius likely wants at least a little bit of damage to try and combine with andinster to bring down Benji in the early game. And Benji's itemizing so that doesn't really matter, that he'll have the just regular HP to make sure that doesn't happen. Plus, remember, when you pick up those corpses from your 1 or from your 3, it goes off of % of your health. The more health you have, the more you're getting healed.
And health, I talked about the metagame of the solo lane, and we say it's where tanks go, and we play 2 tanks, 3 carries because that's how we figured out the game years and years ago. Gold's Fury will put me on pause real quick as andinster takes to the sky and immediately goes down on a Scream, who beads us and walks away there. And so basically whoever put a tank in the solo lane first beat up on whoever was playing the mage. And we all said, well, you respond to tank by tank, and it became this cold war of he who untanks first loses. Well, when y'all both untank, there's no reason to force into the tank. So you can build Warlock Staff. And I bring up my conversation one more time where players playing Guardian in the solo lane say, I wish I could build Warlock Staff, but it's a race against these warriors and all these I'm not stuck in the lane. Well, when you're against the Aphrodite, it's a different world. You're not playing against Cucullin slamming your face in, so you can sit there and stack the Warlock Staff, and you have a little bit more wiggle room and luxury since you are not in that static world of tank v tank, get there first.
And this is where that late game prowess will really come from with the Opwash, is that additional tankiness, so that he doesn't just get exploded in the middle of team fights, and he could be the one doing the exploding with his 2.
Yeah,
it's called
the corpse explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice there. That's nice. I can't even get into the joking with you because I'm so excited to see this power first build come out from Benji, because it's going to be a hybrid power and health build. This next item likely to be a Gem of Isolation, which provides health, but most notably control I speak about the solo lane being Swiss Army knife, and it's usually a tank with other, right? It's tank other. And here, we're getting more of the other than the tank. So much slow, so much control, so much zone potential coming out from Benji that he won't have to zone with his body. He'll be able to zone with his kit. And that's what makes a strong op wash so scary, is when his ultimate is killing you, when his corpse explosion is killing you. If he's kitted to the teeth with tank items, cool. You're not going to kill him. But when he's able to not die and also kill you, that's when this character is the scariest, and Benji's about to put on a show.
And Benji, Aquarius, I think, has done a pretty commendable job thus far in one of the hardest counter lanes you could ever have in Smite. Aquarius has not been under siege very often, and part of it is the way Benji wants to play slow and wait for the later game. Don't get me wrong, but Aquarius has played well.
PolarBearMike now half HP already as Spacestation Gaming trying to bite him. No big deal there, able to walk away. And yeah, Aquarius has done a great job of dealing with Benji in lane. Gold Fury started one more time by Spacestation. Panda from the front, eUnited's mid laner from the right. Spacestation still secure the Gold Fury. So close it was, though. There's a nice ultimate coming out from the mid lane, Venenu. And Screammmmm finishes off what he started, cutting down Baskin.
Man, that Petrify from Ven was huge. Now they're looking to chase down Aquarius. Is Aquarius going to have to receive that Defender of Olympus ultimate? BaRRa right around the corner with a cheeky little mounted archery. It's pretty decent there, but Jeff, the only one left going in because everyone else on his squad is so low on health.
I mean, that was the Candyland scenario that I was talking about for a mid lane Medusa, right? Just being able to come around the corner and go wah, and the whole team gets all wad up. I mean, that's a big deal for Venenu. Gigantic team fight changing ultimate for the mid lane Medusa. What a play! Can you tell that I really like eUnited's draft?
Yeah. By the way, while we're here, can you hover over Lacerate for me? Because keep in mind, this ability has tons of anti-heal. 50% on this ability for free as long as you hit someone. Yep. So you've got an opportunity now to really shut down this healing coming from Aquarius if things are starting to go your way. And oftentimes you won't dash into Aquarius, but maybe you'll dash into whoever Aquarius is linked to stop that healing from really affecting them very nicely.
16, just shy of 17 minutes on the clock. eUnited tied up here with Spacestation Gaming. They've had a fairly effective mid-game here. Looking to continue that versus the enemy jungler, and if they're going to get ulted on, jumped on, and one more hit will confirm the kill, but Screammmmm just can't find it. In fact, it's going to be turned around. Andinster bites back, takes care of Screammmmm.
And that is how Aphrodite does it. Like, 2AT saves you from the last damage that's going to make you die, then heals you a little bit, then you go back in, she backs off to add additional damage. That is the Aphrodite show right there. That's why you pick her.
That was really nice. I mean, that was all Andinster with a little bit of help from Aquarius. Afro slightly came in the clutch.
You're giving me a face like I'm missing this.
Afro slightly,
like Aphrodite and Afro Slighty.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. It was good.
That was horrendous.
That was good.
Nah, dog.
Afro bite me.
Afro-kitey was good.
Yeah. You don't like it? Afro bite me.
I'm about to Afro leave this cast.
That doesn't. No, that's not how that. You should say, I'm about to Afro fight me. That's what you should say. That's a good follow-up. And then I would respond with, you shouldn't even dare. I'm too Afro mighty.
Is there crabs anywhere on this map? This is the right time. Yeah, right over there. That's the spot.
Benji doing some damage. Aquarius in some trouble. More corpse explosion on top. Yeah, that damage is tough, boys.
And look at the build now for Benji. He went back to base, finished off Gem of Isolation, and got Divine Ruin. So good luck healing when Benji's around. And this is what eUnited was kind of waiting for. Instead of trying to bully the Afro out of lane and just kind of worrying about that, instead play for the later stages where you're just going to hard counter her anyways in those sorts of spots. I think that makes a lot more sense and this build is built for that in general.
Yeah, that's the key, is that everybody focuses on Aphrodite and her ability to counter, or Opwash and his ability to counter Afro during the laning phase. And that is a big deal versus first-time offenders and lower-end players. You're playing against Aquarius. This guy's an all-star. This guy's a rock star. Baskin right now trying to put on a show. Benji kills him while getting krakened and barely losing any HP. Andinster walks into the rainstorm, gets ulted by Medusa, gets hit by the last tick of Benji's ultimate. The doubloon for Mr. Puch.
Man, that damage from Venenu's ultimate was gross, and that's with it doing less damage because Andy was turned away. Jeff and BaRRa now here to try and defend their mid Phoenix. Aquarius is backed as well. Venenu gets taunted, gonna now take Phoenix aggro, and he's very, very low.
Meanwhile, BaRRaCCuDDa still trying to fight into this one. Scream on the back line, taking care of the Phoenix. Also, taking care of BaRRaCCuDDa. And Venenu showing up on top. Still battling up with JeffHindla. Venenu showing up on top. Double kill for Venenu. Aquarius answers back, but here he comes. Venenu showing up on top. 3 in a row for the mid lane Medusa. Oh, what a play, what a player. eUnited on fire.
Man, normally the team that gets one little victory like that and is able to stampede down a lane and get kill after kill and objective after objective is the one with the healer. But in this sense, it's just eUnited because their anti-healing is so good that the healer doesn't really matter on the other side.
Look at this.
Benji drops the ultimate, and he's going to try and get out of here, but he's dead to rights here.
Yeah, now he's in trouble. But guess what his team did? The Gold Fury. A solo laner died for the Gold Fury? I mean, that's tale as old as time. Yep. I'm down. Benji is screaming. Well, Benji doesn't really talk loud ever at all.
No,
but he's saying worth in a very soft-spoken, sarcastic tone right now to his team.
Yeah, he's probably like, I guess that's worth or something. Like, I don't know. Good job, guys, I guess.
Yeah, just worth.
Yeah, that was kind of, that was pretty good.
Worth. Check out my SoundCloud.
Now eUnited, even without their solo laner, are going to get an opportunity to go on this Pyromancer. And I mean, look at this. This is a 5v4.
This is what we call insult to injury. And andinster going back to the locker room. Scream. Just scream. Just scream. I mean, this is, and again, this is very representative of what I said in game number 1, right? Where eUnited they overperformed, in my opinion, at Worlds. I don't think that was our standard eUnited. And they took home the victory, and you know what? I'm a liar if I'm not honest. I still wasn't sold when they had the trophy. Because I said, this is not your regular squad. And this, though, I don't know what this is. But this is the team that won the World Championship. And eUnited have to bottle this. They have to make sure that they can look back at this VOD. Everybody is playing out of their damn minds. Everybody, even PandaCat, 0-1-0, low on the player damage, I think you can say has had a fine game because nothing bad happened in his lane. And that's the best you could ask for.
I think what it's really about for eUnited is that I mean, this is how it is for every team. Let me start with that, actually. Every team and how they look, at this level, the skill variance between your pro in the 2nd overall team and your pro in the 5th overall team is likely there, but also likely minuscule in actual damage or actual skill differential. What really sets teams apart is shot calling, picks and bans, and their understanding of the meta. And all of those are intertwined together. And eUnited right now, I think, just has the best grasp of the meta in North America. And it's easy to say that right now in my mind, because normally you'd say, well, if eUnited has a grasp on the meta, then so does Spacestation, because they scrim against one another. And they see everything they're practicing with, and Spacestation has to understand. I don't think Spacestation are on that same level of understanding right now to eUnited. I really don't.
Oh, the taunt is met with the ultimate out of eUnited's mid laner. andinster goes way deep.
Goodbye.
And Venenu just says, what are you doing? 2 players caught in the rainstorm. Venenu gets one and PandaCat gets the other. Baskin and JeffHindla are alive for the moment. Baskin quickly turned to mulch. Benji again finds the kill. 4-1-6 for the number 2 player damage dealing solo lane. JeffHindla does get Scream real quick. And
there we go, Jeff. Big plays, Jeff. Not big enough, though. eUnited has got this one signed, sealed, and delivered. An easy 2-0 for eUnited, man, they just look like they've got the right grasp of the way this league is going right now.
You mentioned 3 things about a strong team:
picks and bans, shot calling, understanding of the meta.
And there's a 4th, understanding the team that you're on and understanding the unit that you're a part of, right? And that picks and bans is a part of it. Venenu started off his Smite game career in the Hunter role, so guess what? His Medusa's pretty gnarly. Benji can play Puch at a very high level, and understanding that, just go ahead and do what you want in the picks and bans. This team understands the meta, but they also understand their own personal strengths, and I think that's what brings them to the next level.
I also think that on the other side for Spacestation, I'm worried about how hesitant they look. It's the moments where andinster goes up by his XP harpies,
right?
And sees Benji, but also sees Screammmmm, and maybe we can kill Benji first, but I'm just gonna land here and be safe about it. I don't know, that it just seems like Spacestation doesn't have that killer mentality right now, where they're gonna go for the throat right away. It feels like they're kind of just waiting to outplay their opponent, let them make mistakes and that kind of stuff. You've got BaRRa, you've got Baskin, you've got andinster. Just go show them you're better. Like I said, I know I just said that the margin of skill difference is small in a lot of cases. You can make it look pretty big when you're guys like Baskin and Andy, and that skill differential can be difficult to close at times. I don't know. Spacestation just needs to kind of get back in the gym and get angry a little bit, you know?
I'm definitely with you on that one. Spacestation looking unlike themselves, but that's become more and more frequent, so I don't really know. Let us know who you think is the MVP out there in Mixer chat. Right now, we'll break down the set on the desk.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Aggro. And wow, what a dominant performance that we just saw there from eUnited. I mean, they looked great, didn't they, in 2 games, taking down Spacestation Gaming and taking the set, really, in pretty commanding fashion.
It was a lot of Scream and Cerqet yet again in game number 2, showing his stuff, but Venenu is the one piloting the Medusa this time around, not PandaCat, and showing its true potential, especially during that middle Phoenix siege.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to think this Medusa pick just might be really good. Maybe eUnited have something figured out with it, but PandaCat looked great on it game 1. Game 2, Venenu looks great on it, and you're right. During that siege, finds a huge petrify that kind of helps set the whole thing in motion, but it sounds like selected there by Mixer Chat, Benji is the one that is going to be that MVP. And to be fair, Aquarius did better than we saw other Aphrodites do against the Puch, but there's only so much you can do.
I mean, how do you survive this gank? What a performance. He survives long enough to have Scream make this rotation and kill Andy in the process. Just so annoying to have to deal with Benji at this point in the game. This is already when he's stupid fed. He's like level 20. He has Gem of Isolation. You're not going to kill him. That guy's Cloak, double defensive relics. This Puch was able to not only take a hard counter matchup against the Aphrodite into a success, but bring it to the other lanes with the utility from the gem.
Yeah, he started with Aegis as his first relic, right? Even in the solo lane, it actually came up big for him. That was a big part of how he survived the initial gank. Aegis, a ton of damage. Even the initial ult in from the Athena, I mean, it was huge from him to be able to get through all that damage.
This is how you can tell a certain solo laner is better than the rest. Their ability to take a level 1 relic and turn it on its head. In game number 1, it was the Chang'e, where he got the Phantom against the Odin from Aquarius. Game number 2, he respects andinster's global pressure with the Thor on top of JeffHindla's Athena. That double dunk combination was completely negated by the Aegis and then allowed Scream to make the counterpoint.
And then I want to make sure we are talking plenty about Venenu. I mean, he played the Medusa so well in this game, and they went with the double hunter comp. This time they had another mage to keep it sort of balanced out over in the solo lane, but they went with the Artemis and the Medusa, and Venenu made it look really good.
That's true. Venenu is just an all-star player,
yes,
where he was the Season 4 MVP for Worlds, you know, for a good reason. And on top of that, his just God pool is so diverse. Banning the Morrigan, I think it was, earlier on in this, not the first game, but the second game specifically, the Morrigan was targeted at Venenu, not wanting him to play it. But little did Spacestation know that he could still play Hunters in Season 4. Spring Split, when he was in the Oxygen Supremacy minor league team, he was making his comeback there when he was playing mid. He played Chang'e. He played like 6 different gods in the 6 games.
Yeah, playing whatever he wants. This guy's clearly insanely capable when he's got the keyboard and the mouse in hand, and he just put it on display for us here just now. But let's go ahead and take a look back at this should be the standings coming up here first, so you can see where everybody is shaking out, and eUnited up at the top all alone after their victory over Spacestation. Remember, Spacestation has also dropped a game, I believe, to Splice earlier on, so that's one more area that's kind of brought them down.
Losing in that Week 3 matchup is definitely a big hindrance towards their potential to secure that #2 spot as the weeks progress. Spacestation are at 4-2 now with 9-5 game records, so they're sitting at +4. So far, eUnited with only losing one set to Spacestation Gaming in week #1 with an 11-4 record game-wise. They're sitting at +7.
And don't forget, Rival did get that victory over Team Dignitas. That's why you see them all tied at 4-2 there. So Rival coming up with a pretty important win for themselves as well. And these will be the rest of your Week 4 schedules right here in front of you. We started off with a crazy couple of sets today, but it's not going to slow down. Energy versus Obey, that's coming at you later. CLG versus Trifecta, that's a huge set. Dig versus Energy down the line. I mean, it's a stacked week. You're not going to want to miss any of these sets.
It's important for Energy to find these victories. Against Obey Alliance, it seems to be their bane in existence. They got shut down by them during the spring split, which prevented them from reaching the Masters land. And they've already lost to them so far in the Summer land.
They're only lost right now, right?
Yeah, they can't allow that to happen again if they want to make sure that this time they don't avoid the land again.
Especially because Obey are looking a little bit weaker here lately these last couple of weeks. So Energy, if they really do want to confirm themselves up at the top, I agree, they need to be able to pick up this win. And you all need to make sure that you're checking out all the Smite action that we're putting out. And here's that schedule so you know exactly when to tune in. Esports Weekly, 10 a.m. every Monday. That's going to be where Aggro, Hindu, and Taco are breaking down the predictions, going over the sets. Then you get me and Tom and Aggro giving you like the meta discussion where we kind of go back and forth. Get your moment of Tully on there as well. Get to hear from my man Tully. And console will be right after that. Then Tuesday through Fridays, you get to see Global Series and Minor League.
And don't forget, a little sugar and spice makes everything nice. We wrap it all up with the SPL action Monday. It's going to be Europe and North America, but then we switch it to Europe on Tuesdays, Thursdays, North America, Wednesday, Fridays.
That's right. So you're going to make sure the SPL is always there for you right at 3 p.m. EST. So make sure that you know when to come check us out. And I believe we got the VODs available all the time, too. So even if you can't watch it, just make sure you're checking it out in some capacity. These games have been so good, you wouldn't want to miss a minute of it.
Definitely not. And not going to miss Energy versus Obey tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely not. Make sure that you check out our broadcast. Will be starting tomorrow morning. Check in with us. We'll be right back here for you. But that's going to do it for today. Everybody have a good rest of your night, morning, evening, wherever you're at. And thanks for tuning in.